Atkinson.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power Up Podcast, episode 77, being recorded live on June 29th, 2019. I'm your host, Taylor, and this week I'm, of course, joined by Anthony. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Was up till like 2 a.m. trying to sort out the site stuff.
I saw that.
Went down, and I was like chatting in bed with like the web hosting people. I'm dedicated to the cause.
Yeah.
Got that sorted, which is good. Had quite a few issues there, but aside from that, doing pretty well.
Okay. What you been playing this past week?
So I've been playing some. So there's like a little kind of indie game which is like Papers, Please, called Not Tonight, which is like about.
That's what she said.
It's heavily like politically motivated in a sense where it's like the Brexit's gone through, and then European people can't stay in England and all this kind of stuff. So it's like it's pretty interesting, and you're like a bouncer and you got to kind of stay in England and do stuff anyway.
Okay.
Quite interesting. I don't play it for the politics. I play it more for the gameplay. Aside from that, I've been playing a little bit of Apex here and there. Streamed some of that until Matt very rudely distracted me, and I went off onto a complete different tangent. Was like looking at PC parts while streaming. So that was all.
Nice.
Aside from that, that's kind of it. I haven't really been gaming a whole heap. Got to send off my graphics card to get warranty stuff done to it because it's like red dot, green dotting, and been really annoying. I don't know what that's called or whatever. It's like dying at least, so yeah, gonna do that on Monday. So I won't have a PC for a couple of weeks.
You've had no luck with those graphics cards.
I know, right? I had one that had like a bearing that was dying and was making an absolute racket, and then this one's not gone too well. Lasted like 6 months.
Was it better than the first one? And how long it lasted? I forget.
Well, the last one that I got was secondhand, so
Okay.
Technically it lasted longer, and I had it at, technically it lasted longer, so.
Okay. All right.
Technically I used it for longer, so yeah.
Okay. Andrew, welcome back. How was your vacation after E3?
Good. It was very hot. The Grand Canyon is very large.
Yes.
It's been very cool.
Okay.
So that's part of my vacation was, yeah, we went on a nature vacation, so had a good time.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. And then what you been playing?
You know, because we were moving so much, I didn't get a lot of time to play anything, but I did get to pick up the Contra collection. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh wow, cool.
A bunch of games you'll never be able to beat.
Nope, I will never beat any of those games on there. At least without doing the Konami code. I could probably beat him pretty easily doing the Konami code, I think.
Okay.
But I'm such a good Contra player. I don't need the Konami code. I'm just gonna beat it regular, like how Lord Konami intended.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to do that.
Have you ever played that anime reboot one of Contra that came out on the PS3?
I haven't. The hardcore.
So good.
Hardcore?
Yeah, hardcore is so good. Love
Yeah, I never played it. I don't know if I can still get it either. But I remember
the
seeing
one coming to
people play
Switch, or is that something else?
I think that's something else.
Is it?
I think it's something else.
That's
Yeah.
like looks weird. It's like first person. Weird.
Oh, there is a Contra, the new Contra game, which I should bring up, which looks absolutely like garbage. I'm so mad that game got announced and looks like that. Like, I was pretty hyped for a new Contra game, and then that came out, and it's like, wow.
It's like I'm no longer hyped for a new Contra game.
I'm just angry now.
Nope, not today. Don't there.
Yeah, so that was kind of a bummer. And then I did pick up the Samurai Showdown, which is a fighting game, and it's SNK. It kind of revived like an old fighting game if you've never heard of Samurai Showdown. But it's cool. It's very slow paced and very like methodical. So it's cool because I'm not good at long combos. I'm not good at like the Ultimate Marvel games, Marvel vs. Capcom games.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can get hit like twice and die. So
Supposedly they've made it very like Street Fighter 4 now, haven't they? But it's more, as you say, you got to like get the move. It's like literally every move counts, but it's like more, less combos and more kind of like precise movement, but on that kind of graphical level of Street Fighter 4. But and the speed of it as well.
I actually fired up Street Fighter 4 last night randomly, and I don't even know if it looks as good as Street Fighter 4.
No.
But it's definitely got that style of like really chunky like character models and like big
giant ass feet.
Yeah, exactly. Big feet, big hands. It's cool. It's neat. I haven't messed around with it too much, so I'll have to go back into it and and see if I really do like it. But it's I like fighting games, so I always kind of try them out and see how it goes.
I just button mash. That's my strategy.
Okay. All right, cool. And then Josh, how are you? Welcome back. This is your second outing or so, right? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Yeah, okay. Second one, and hopefully many more to come.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Oh my goodness, I've been playing 2 games of completely polarizing quality.
Okay.
The first one being Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, which is really, really good. I have been super addicted to the online, super awesome. It's really amazing that a company like Activision are actually making like so many good remakes at the moment. Like they've been obviously doing Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, and now Team Racing as well. So having like 2 games slapped together, which is Nitro Kart and also the original Crash Team Racing, into like this new package with all these brand new characters and a really respectable kind of like multiplayer as well, which is kind of cool because obviously a lot of games now, like if you play Overwatch, which I want to talk about later anyway, is that whole loot box thing. And what Crash Team Racing have done is they've not done the loot box thing. They've actually ended up doing this thing called Pit Stop, where you race to earn coins in-game. You can't buy the coins, you just earn them by playing the game, and then you buy characters, just casually. And there's the more level like races you play online, the bigger the multiplier as well for your coins. So I was there kind of thinking, companies don't generally do this. Like, this is really weird. They're making like no money from this, but it's like, it benefits us, which is awesome. And then the other game I've been playing is Darksiders 3, which I love. Darksiders 1, 2's all right, but the third one I couldn't come to myself to buy it, so I decided to rent it. And I'm really glad I did, because it is an insult to what the original 2 games are. Yeah, it's really shocking. I've been playing it. I've been playing it, kind of just going, all right, this is really. Like, kind of crying inside because of obviously the new game Genesis is coming out, which is a top-down, but it is so rushed and unpolished. Like, I am so worried about the future of that series. Like, it started so well, and the third one it's a rip-off of another genre of game, but it's just not done to the level that, even though, like, say, Dark Souls, it is based on Dark Souls gameplay, but Dark Souls, with its visual lack of polish in itself, to see a game below that even more, it's just kind of like, wow, like, I just kind of go back to Crash Team Racing now. I was really sad about that.
You see, like, I don't understand how Activision can have something like that in, like Crash Team Racing, and then turn around, and then in World of Warcraft they released a, which people are like really bitching about lately. By the way, Q2 2019 ends in a day. By the way, so 2 days before, 2 days before Q2 ends for 2019. World of Warcraft and, extension Activision released like a 6-month subscription bundle, and then a amount to go with it, like an in-game store amount to go with it, and people are just complaining at that sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like they can do that, but then it's just like they double and triple dip into the monetization of, say, WoW or something. Yeah.
But
I didn't know WoW was still around.
Yeah, still is.
Autoplay ads far out. Okay, so wasn't Spyro done by like developer somebody else? So, and
Beanox, I believe.
Yeah.
Beanox did Crash Team Racing as well.
I mean, Activision is a publisher though, not a developer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's that kind of, but they probably like have a choice when it comes to what kind of content, the whole publisher to developer thing of what goes into the game, and it's maybe that Beanox actually got like a lot of creative freedom when it came to like even like the financial side of it, and just they were like, no, just make it all just for the player, like don't put any microtransactions. I think like you can pre-order the game, or when you could, and you could get like DLC character skins. But I believe because what they're doing is they're doing this thing which is like this Grand Prix season pass thing in a sense. It's kind of like Battle Pass, for Apex and stuff, but without paying for it. So it's like they're introducing Spyro as a racer, and then there's going to be a bunch of new levels and some new carts. But it's kind of like, it's like Rage 2 actually, where it's just like a content update, and then people get to take part in it, and then and it adds like more characters to the roster, more levels to play. But it's just kind of gradual additional content. But there's already like 20 plus tracks in the game already. So, it's not that kind of thing where you end up playing the same thing twice. Like, I've been playing it for like over a week, and there's still some levels I have not got to play yet, which is really cool. I like that.
Okay. All right. Let's see. This past week, I picked up My Friend Pedro, which is as insane as it looked in the trailers and everything.
Yeah.
I want to play that
Pretty
so
cool.
much.
Yeah, I saw both you guys. Is that you guys enjoying that game so far?
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad either. Yeah, it's like
Not
it's
bad.
pretty.
That's what. Yeah, I feel like I was like really hyped for that game, and I've seen some gameplay and people talking. It's kind of like, yeah, it just kind of doesn't work like
Doesn't
you want it
scratch an
to.
itch in a sense.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Doesn't really.
They kind of try to
but,
channel like this sort of like 3D Hotline Miami sort of thing for it,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
not nearly as insane or fast as Hotline Miami. So
I
Yeah.
mean, even a game like what's it called? Like, I can't remember what it's called. But it's like you can kind of teleport all over. It's very similar to Hotline Miami, and I think it's made
Mr.
from the
Shifty.
same- Yeah, Mr. Shifty. That's it. Even that kind of thing, I absolutely love. But my friend Pedro, I didn't really get into it, to be honest. Like, I got a refund for it, so
Yeah.
Oh,
it
no.
seems that-
yeah.
It's really sad. Like I feel like I was so like stoked for that game, and I saw it, and I was like, oh no, it's not.
And
It's not what I wanted.
And it's funny, like, sure, there is, like, some language and whatnot in the game, but it's like, you look at Devolver, who's, like, absolutely overboard when it comes to their E3 stuff, and then you look at my friend Pedro, and it's the references and whatnot that they have in it are, like, really kind of childish, in a sense. Like, it's not, like, the mature kind of thing that Devolver goes for. So that was kind of
So
funny.
it's kind of like going down the Borderlands route instead of the.
In a sense, yeah.
yeah,
I think, at least.
You guys both playing on PC or
Mhm.
Yeah.
At least I am.
okay?
PC,
Keyboard
Mark.
or
I was doing mouse and
Yeah.
keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay? See, I'm curious if like that makes it better or worse, because I saw some people talking about the Switch, and it's just really awkward to
I
like
can
play it
can
on the
imagine.
Switch, because you're like clicking in a stick to slow mo
Right.
it down, and then like your hands are doing like claw things.
There's too much to do on a controller or on Switch, I reckon. Like, Taylor, you don't have a very.
What?
You don't look like you agree.
No, I do. No, that was
Okay.
gonna be the point. I was gonna bring up actually. Just like it's like I couldn't imagine playing it on controller.
Mm.
Although maybe I'll try it out after the podcast. I don't
Like,
know.
you gotta press Switch and like space and WASD and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like. I mean, it might work on a controller like PS4, where you've got like a touch screen or something where you can kind of touch control at least, where you can kind of select different things. But something like the Switch, I don't really see it happening.
Okay.
That's a bummer.
And then I have also been super into Final Fantasy 14. And so that's all I have to say about that. All right.
Did you tell the story of the E3 story?
Oh no. Okay.
So Taylor got super salty at E3 because at Final Fantasy 14.
Why? What happened?
So I guess I'll tell it.
Yeah,
from
go
third
for it.
person. But from what I understand, there's this like challenge. There's like a raid boss.
Yes.
Of sorts.
So Shadowbringers, which if you pre-order, which is the next expansion coming out for Final Fantasy 14, if you pre-ordered it, your early access to the expansion came up yesterday. But then
Okay.
all the normies get to play it on this next Tuesday here. And so, yeah. Anyway, and so at E3, this was obviously before Shadowbringers had Square Enix was big on promoting Shadowbringers, and so they had like this little arena where they would take a raid team. For Final Fantasy 14, and it's like, they pair you up with other random people at E3, so, stands you at the PCs they have set up, and then you have to face like a raid boss from the next expansion or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a shirt if you beat her.
Yeah, it was. There were some good stories. I saw Taylor come after, and he was so pissed that his like party didn't know what they were doing.
Somewhat, yeah.
And then he was telling me the story of this guy who was like sitting there like getting angry. Like he was like, "All right, you're gonna be the healer," and like yelling at people in line, basically.
Yeah, it was okay. So like, anything at E3 had like a 45-minute wait to do anything for it, and so same thing with Final Fantasy 14. Andrew, you were off. What were you off doing? Like Watch Dogs 3, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, is that when I was doing Watch Dogs or
Maybe.
doing Ghost Recon?
I think you were doing Ghost Recon.
Which I should talk about actually in
Okay.
a second. But
Yeah, I think you were going to check out Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So Matt and I are standing there in the Final Fantasy 14 line and everything. There was this guy a couple places ahead of us, okay? And he is metagaming to all hell and everything because, you know, the Square Enix folks were giving you the option. It's like, hey, we'll either pair you up with random people, or it's like if you come to us with a pre-made group, we'll put you in with that pre-made group. So he was going about the line, asking everyone like their experience in game and everything, and it's like what they play. He was like recruiting people from the line into his group and everything. He was just metagaming super duper hard. He declined my services twice, which I partially understand because, okay, I'm new to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not new to MMOs, though. Like, I've tanked in WoW for 11 years. And so it's like, he still didn't want my service. He still didn't want my service. And so it's just like, yeah, I get paired up with a random group of people who are all fairly new to the game also, so it was fine and everything. The guy in his strongly metagamed group gets on the table behind us. And, yeah, so it's like, I worked with my group while everyone's playing and everything. I end up playing the Paladin job as the secondary tank. And so, yeah, we tried to, I don't want to say cheese it a little bit, but Square Enix wouldn't let us. But because we, in line, I was talking with my group a little bit. We were thinking, so the raid boss is just like a massive DPS check. She doesn't really do a lot of damage. So we'd be fine getting an extra DPS instead of a secondary tank. But then the guys at Square Enix wouldn't let us do that. So we had to do like their recommended stuff. We had to have do like 2 tanks, 3 healers, and like 5 DPS or whatever. And so yeah, so it's like ended up being I don't know. He said those are. It's like the guy I was talking to was like, those are the rules. Those are the rules, and it's just like, bro.
Isn't the point of those previews and stuff to actually kind of like see what happens based on customer feedback though? Because it's a preview. So it's
you would
like,
think.
Why wouldn't they make you think outside the box?
You would think, and I mean, it's just like, I don't know, I haven't raided in Final Fantasy XIV outside of that because, you know, still new to that game. But, like, in WoW, it's just like, that happens all the time. It's just like the off-tank will switch to DPS spec depending on the fight, you know? So it's like, you know.
They only had so many shirts. They couldn't give all those shirts away.
Okay, fair enough.
The actual, like, demo, though, for the game, or was it just, like, a competition aside from the demo?
It was...
I mean, it was...
Or, like, DLC, I mean.
It was an instance demo. Yeah, it was an instance demo.
Okay, so this is like the only demo that they had going for it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you should be allowed to do what you want.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's like I end up in the off-tank role, which is fine, whatever, and everything. It's like, and I'm standing next to our main tank and everything, and then I'm also standing next to a one of our healers and everything. So got a nice little group right there. My group was super duper friendly and everything. So we're going about our thing. We get pretty far the first try. We get even farther the second try. I'm kind of convinced that we're gonna make it into the third try, or it's like we might actually beat her a third try. But then, oh no, some of the DPS got caught in the fire, so to speak. So they died way too early, and so yeah, we just lost the DPS check near the end of the fight. And so anyway, throughout all this, though, we're hearing the guy who is metagaming in Lime just screaming at his group. He's at the end of at his table. He's just screaming at the group every time they fail. So. And
there's no like headset stuff, right?
No, you have to like shout over. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So yeah. Anyway, Andrew, what about
Sexy Boy 997? What are you doing?
Accurate though.
Get your KD above 1.
I think the worst part was like he was playing it with a controller. And it's like never playing MMO with a controller. That's like that's an option.
Scrubs.
Yeah, it's like that's an option in Final Fantasy XIV and Black Desert Online, but it's like I'm such a purist. It's like mouse keyboard only way.
It's a big PS4 game though, so.
Yeah, purely anecdotal here. Everyone in my group used mouse and keyboard, and we ended up on average farther than the guy behind us, like the group behind us. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, take that early. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Breakpoint.
Is Final Fantasy 14? Is it actually like matchmaking when it comes to the raids, or do you have to actually like do the Destiny thing where you have to team up with people?
I'm not certain on that.
So that's one thing. I'd play those types of games if like you could just find randoms, but then again, I don't know if it's like a good idea to do that because obviously you could go into like for hours playing a raid and then just completely screw it because nobody knows what they're doing. But I always found that like the whole going onto forums and finding people seems to be like such a archaic kind of like design.
Sure.
So
yeah, I'm not
Destiny
sure.
Has
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay. No, you go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Destiny has like a lobby area where you go back to planets, you can kind of put out a group message to like everybody in the lobby at that time. And then anybody who sees it can choose to join your party if they want. You don't have to go onto forums or whatever. I think they paired that up with an app as well.
I did, because I did the platinum and I did the app, and it is
okay.
a nightmare. It is so
Okay.
frustrating.
Because I played Destiny, I think it was it was Destiny 1, so I think they changed that with Destiny 2 with the whole
Oh,
I think
app
so. Yeah.
sort of thing, yeah.
Okay. I'm not. I think maybe I've seen text that refers to like a raid finder in Final Fantasy 14 where it pairs you up with people automatically.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. And if it functions anything like World of Warcraft's look for raid system, then the difficulty is pared down quite a bit, so you can like navigate it just as long as you have like a basic mechanical understanding of the game.
That makes
That's
sense.
good.
Yeah, so you don't.
It's
have
kind
to-
of like Division 2 with this new. There's that whole thing about how the console players are having like loads of difficulty with the raid, and then the PC players were like having a little bit of a better time. But it's that thing of that game has matchmaking in it, I believe. I think
Does it?
when it comes
Okay.
to raids potentially, I'm not too sure. I know you can matchmake with like levels and stuff, but it
Yeah.
is that kind of thing where like with matchmaking and finding people, it's that thing of you can obviously with finding people get super dedicated people like you're saying with these like meta peeps that get really angry, but then with like matchmaking you have that thing of well he's gonna be playing with a bunch of random people that are just gonna do it for fun anyway, but then it's gonna take hours because you're just gonna be like screwing up all the time, so it's like double-edged sword in a sense. So yeah, it's one of those things of which way is the best like way to go about it in a sense.
Yeah, and I mean, I
It's
can speak
fun.
to my experience with like LFR and WoW. It's just like the difficulty is tweaked in such a way that you won't be there for hours, even if you wipe a couple times.
Right.
So yeah,
With
you'll eventually come.
Final Fantasy 14, there's a party finder.
Okay.
So it's all cross server, and it's party finder. So you just go to a certain area and search for the raid. Kind of like the Division.
That's pretty
in a
cool.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
go
that
to the
sounds
good.
start of the boss and then do whatever.
Okay. Anyway, so Breakpoint, Andrew, what'd you think of Breakpoint?
It's an interesting game. You guys like Ghost Recon? Like, you play Wildlands at all?
Never
I
played
didn't
WoW.
play
though.
Wildlands, but I enjoyed
I own it. I
Recon.
played the first 5 minutes of it. Didn't care for it. I think it's just because I was so tired of open world games. Then
Sure.
again, though, I loved the original Ghost Recons. I actually really liked, was it Future Soldier, which I ended up playing
Yeah.
again recently just to get the trophies. And I played all the way through multiplayer. It was fantastic. But I think the open world thing is just maybe a little bit too much for me. Is it
So, yeah.
good, though? Like, what was it like compared to...
So yeah, it's definitely like Wildlands a good amount. Like, there's an open world. I will say, like, navigating this open world seems a little easier. I didn't like how you could navigate in Wildlands. Like, if you got in a car, like, there's a lot of twisty roads, and it just like wasn't for me fun to like drive in. This one seems a little better. We didn't get it to go on any like. We did go on a vehicle. Actually, we did go on a vehicle, and we ended up getting like stuck on a like a barrier. So that was pretty funny, actually. But yeah. So like, it's interesting. It was really hard. Like, that's something I wasn't ready for. We had like a 4-player squad, and like the guy who was leading us through was like, "Make sure you talk, guys." Like, it was kind of like the cheesy like, demo stuff. But like, it was really hard. Like, we like tried to stealth our way through this section, and then like, all of a sudden someone gets seen, and it's like, nope. Everyone's just like, there's dudes with like big old machine guns like shooting at you. It was really difficult. But like the shooting for me, I mean, I was playing on a PS4 controller. I do like shooters on controllers, third-person shooters too, but it just felt a little slow, a little sluggish.
Okay.
That could just be a setting thing. I feel like I couldn't like track the way I wanted to track. I couldn't snap from each enemy to enemy as quickly as I wanted to. Like, that could be a sensitivity issue that I might be able to change. I don't know.
Are they
But,
kind of going back to the Rainbow Six kind of thing then? Like, trying to make it like really coordinated? Because that's what Wildlands felt like. You could just kind of run in and like go a bit gun-ho, like just cover-based shooter and stuff. But from videos I've seen, it seems like there's a lot more to do with stealth in it. And
Yeah,
the stealth seems like really fine-tuned.
It's okay. So like, I'll just break out what we did. Like, we started off, and like, you can kind of select a class. There's like 4 classes. There's like Sniper, Panther, which is like kind of like a stealthy-ish class. Your regular,
Blacklist.
and yeah, your regular kind of like gunner class. And I can't remember. There was one other class, and I'm forgetting what that was. But I think there's 4 classes. Maybe there's just 3. But each one has like a little special ability. So like, I picked like the stealthy guy, so you could do like a smoke thing would pop up, and you'd be able to kind of like get out of there as quick as possible with the smoke. So that was like a neat thing. So we did that, and we kind of like, we rolled around in the mud, and then we tried to like extract this this woman from this base. We flew our little drones around, did the wildlands thing of like targeting everybody, and then like going in and trying to get them out, and it all broke loose. Hell broke loose, and we just started shooting everybody. Even our lady we tried to save got shot, so that was fun.
Nice.
Right as we were running to the helicopter,
Nice.
all of a sudden the guy was just like, "Well, I think she took a bullet on our way out," and just like flopped her on the ground, and I was like, "Very cool."
She wasn't doing the platoon thing where she was just like that dramatically like falling to the floor or something.
Mission accomplished.
Just like ragdoll her in like the bushes. Like I was like, "Wow, that was really dark actually." What just happened right there. But yeah, it is very coordinated. Like they're like enemies are gonna flank you. It was difficult. Like I kind of enjoyed it. Like it was like one of those things that was like, well, I wasn't ready for this to be so hard, but it's like kind of cool. But if you're not coordinating with your team, like it's gonna be a rough time. I can see. And then after we did that, we got to bop around the open world. It was really cool. We saw like this like red, like kind of like meadowy area, like red, like I don't know if they're flowers or if they're like wheat or something, but like this like red kind of like area, and it's really pretty. Game looks great.
Okay.
So it looks like they're doing
John Bethnal
in a cutscene. Yes, there are cutscenes in this game, and everyone's voice acted and everything. So you'll be able to cut. We weren't able to customize our dudes. You can like customize your dude or woman, and they're voice acted in a cutscene. So if you're in the story, this one's telling some kind of story. It's a demo. The problem is I don't think this game demoed very well because of how difficult it was, and just like how you're just getting thrown into like, oh, now you got to make sure you heal. Now you got to make, and there's like a radio wheel. We're like, oh shoot, I got to fix my injury. And like, it was just, there's so many systems that I was like trying to figure it out. Like within this hour I got to play with it, and it just wasn't happening. I'm like, hey, so I have to hold L1. I have to do this, like it was a lot. Even for people who like play games a lot, I still think it's a good amount. It'll probably take a couple hours to like figure out what, like, okay, this is how I should approach this, and like make sure I have this equipped or whatever. But this time it seems they're taking advantage of the open world a little bit more, because it seems like they're going to have like kind of, I'm not sure if they're live events, but like there was a big like tank basically, and like they're like there's this big tank, and it was like in this section, so we all like got our rocket launchers, we equipped our rocket launchers, and we like kind of surrounded it, and we all kind of like did this cool like simultaneously like shot our rockets at it, like one person distracted it over here, and then another person shot another rocket, and like blew up this thing, and like collected the resources and stuff to like upgrade your character, and guns and stuff. But I'm not sure like how many of those, like they're kind of like mini bosses, I guess, because we screwed up the first time we tried to take it on, and it just destroyed us. After everyone ran out of like, I was like, I think there was a glitch where I couldn't see my crosshairs or something, so I like tried to shoot the rocket, and I'm like, I don't know where this is going. And then he's like, okay, we just got to make sure we hit our rockets this time, guys. I'm like, I couldn't see where the rocket was going, to be honest. Like, oh yeah, we know about that one. We're trying to fix that little glitch.
Nice.
I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah, it was not me just being bad at the video game. I legitimately ran into a glitch where I couldn't see where I was shooting.
I'm not useless.
Yeah, I know. So then the second time we did it, and it worked.
Okay. That's good then.
Yeah, so it's cool. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I don't know. I don't want to say I'm worried, but I'm worried how that game demos, because I think it's just insanely difficult. Yeah, so I think with a good group you could have a lot of fun with that. But I guess we'll wait. It's coming out pretty soon, in like a couple months. So.
Okay. Does it give the vibe of like a futuristic thing, because there's like supposedly like robots in it and things? Like, does it give off that kind of thing of it's future based, or is it still grounded in partial reality like the Wildlands game?
Yeah, so like the weapons you're getting were all just like pretty standard. I think I was rocking like like an M14 or something. But then there are these like drones that are flying, which are a pain in the butt to like shoot. And there's also like there was like a car. It was like a big car drone basically. And that thing was also a pain because it was really fast and like really durable. So you're just like sitting there unloading into this thing. So like you really have to be prepared in this game. Like you have to come in there with the right gear and like have like a mindset of like, okay, we're gonna attack this space, like one of the little like outposts, and then like get out of there and like go regroup. because we kind of did the tank thing, then went to a different spot, and then we were just like, no one has any grenades, no one has any, like armor damaging weapons, so we just got like, it was a lot of reviving going on. So
Trying to keep the dream alive.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, I'll revive you. Then like 2 seconds later, he gets down. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just revive him. Like, you should just die and come back with full health, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So why even use medkits then?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but
Why do I even bother?
Yeah.
yeah, because
Does it play like differently enough to Division 2? Or like the Division? Because I always thought it's kind of weird. It's just like Ubisoft has like 2 kind of similar third-person open-world shooters with Breakpoint coming out.
Yeah, I think so. I think Division 2 is kind of, you're not getting loot per se.
Yeah.
In Breakpoint.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same, but we were able to pick from a ton of different weapons. I have no idea if that was just how the demo works or if you have to unlock the weapons. But basically, at any time, we could just like pause the game, go to our menu, and like, oh, I want to have a submachine gun now, or
okay,
an LMG. We were able to switch really quickly. Like, I didn't have to go to like a crate. You can like set up like a camp, which is kind of neat, and it's just basically everyone hanging out, and you can like, oh, I think I did like, there's like some stuff you could do, like you can like get temporary buffs. I got a temporary buff to like my accuracy. Like I cleaned my gun and my accuracy went up by like.
Wait,
5%.
so they stole an idea from Final Fantasy 15? Was there a guy that chefed for you and like made you like hot toast or something?
No, I could eat though, and that would like help like with your stamina or something like that. Like,
wow.
There was one where it was like I was like walking through a river, and it just said like fill up your canteen, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fill up my canteen, and the guy's like, yeah, don't do that.
Cool.
It's like, don't do that. It's pointless right now. I'm like, oh, all right, I will not fill up my canteen then. But yeah, it's like, yeah, there's kind of some survival stuff, like, filling up your canteen, and like that'll help you like keep your stamina up, because if you're running around a lot, it's you're not moving super fast.
Do you think if you're one question I have, do you think if you're playing with like randoms, if it would be kind of like something that you would play with random people, or do you think it'd be better if you're like had a preset team? Or
yeah, I think having a preset team definitely will benefit this game. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but they originally announced they were just drones when you were playing by yourself. They're actually bringing back the squad members. You're gonna have actual humans with you now.
Nice.
Well, AI humans, and not just like drones. So if you're okay with just having, like, you'll always have 4 people with you or 3 other people with you. They're just not human. So if you want other humans, then I guess you could probably randomly matchmake. I don't know. I don't know if you would want that, because sometimes people are just do weird stuff. Like one of the guys I was playing with just like, it was like, oh, come meet up with me, and he just kept going. Like, he just ran past me like into the woods, and I was just sitting there trying not to laugh as I'm sitting next to him, like, okay, he's going for it. And then the guy's like, hey man, where are you going? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, fantastic.
Nice.
So it was pretty funny. Like, whatever. Like, shooters aren't your genre, no big deal. Who cares? But like, it was just like, that's what you can run it. Like, that could happen when you run those people. And then if you're actually trying to coordinate, you might be kind of not so happy with that.
Does it suffer from like potentially when you played it, like did the mission you play feel like just like a side mission, or were they like the characters that you're all playing as taught to each other in like a story thing? Because that was the thing that the Division had an issue with, was like it felt kind of soulless. Like the narrative wasn't great in itself anyway, but like, and I think that's what I didn't like about Wildlands, was that you were kind of just doing like these random open world missions that just didn't have much context, and I kind of just switched it off based on there not being any engagement, like, from the characters themselves. Did it seem like they had improved on that?
So that one story mission we did play, like I said, we were rescuing that woman. Like, there was a good amount of cutscene. Like, there was a flashback cutscene with John Berthenol. How do you say his name?
It's Bethnal, like methanol.
Berthenol. So yeah, there was like a flashback scene with him, kind of like setting up his character more. Did I care about that? Honestly, not really.
No.
But we were also thrown into this like mission. I have no idea when this takes place in the game, and like, so I was just kind of like, all right, this is a long cutscene about characters I don't care about. Maybe I would care about them in like more context. I have no idea.
Look, it's the Punisher, dude. Come on.
I do like the Punisher.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and I was also told the second season is not good by somebody, so I was a little sad there because I'd seen a couple episodes of that one. But yeah, I think the story, I don't know if the story is going to be its strong suit. I think the environment is going to help it go a long way. From what I've seen, there was just like, there's like a swampland, there's a grassland, there's a volcano. Like there's just tons of stuff in that game that looks like the interesting stuff that might push me along instead of like the story.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I don't know. I'm still interested in that game, but that definitely one of those things where I'm like, oh, like this is like kind of serious. Like people who are like the serious stuff, like will probably be super into this. Like this is not an arcade shooter. That's for sure.
Cool.
All right. Well, that concludes our intro segment. Yeah. All right, so jumping into the gaming news for this week, kind of dipping into a little bit of last week also. Leading topic here is EA calls loot boxes surprise mechanics instead of loot boxes. I guess they were some executive
literally
from
in Congress, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
It was in a
from them
European
was like
one, yeah.
testifying into a European Congress and said, instead of loot boxes, we prefer the term or they describe loot boxes as surprise mechanics and everything, and liking them to things like Kinder eggs and whatnot, where it's like,
I was gonna say, goddamn.
Well, first up, loot boxes, they're surprise mechanics. Well, they're the same thing. What are you talking about?
I do want to bring up that Kinder eggs are banned in the United States.
Oh.
but not for that. They're actually banned for like choking hazards.
Yeah.
But it's funny that they chose something to compare themselves against that are in fact banned.
Yeah.
I remember nearly choking with horse armor, so then again, maybe it will happen.
Yeah. So what do we think? Are loot boxes just surprise mechanics? Or is it still gambling? Is like the slot machine surprise mechanics there? Like I did the casino, slot machine. Is that a surprise mechanic?
I think where we run into issue is just like how easy it is to like just kind of waste the money away, or like you never see the money. Like,
Yeah.
Like you're not putting the dollar in the slot machine. You're not putting the credit card in the machine. You're just like, oh yeah, it's hooked up to my account, and on electronically you're it out $50 all of a sudden. You never see that. I think that's like part of the issue with like loot boxes, because like I don't think they're inherently like, unless they lock like certain, like if it's just cosmetics, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Whatever, man. You want to like buy cosmetics and stuff? Sure.
You want to spend $80 on Overwatch loot boxes every season so you get that one Mercy skin? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like predatory in a way that's like kind of messed up, but at the same time, like I don't know. I know people don't have self-control, but like I don't know. It's a weird thing. I go back and forth on loot boxes.
I mean, why do you need loot boxes? Why can't you just have a skin? If you want to buy a skin, go and buy a skin. I mean, why do you need a loot box? I mean, it's
no, yeah.
They're not needed. They don't need to be. They get rid of them. Kill them.
Money.
Yeah, money, basically. Yeah. I mean, like I love how Rainbow Six does it. Like you can just buy stuff. Like, are they expensive? Yeah. Like you can buy a skin that's like $6 or something. Well. But they're not nearly as expensive as Apex. Apex is like way too expensive.
$20 for a pistol skin. Heck yeah, doing it.
Yeah, but like you can also grind like in Rainbow Six. Like I remember I got like a cool like Terminator skin for like my character, and I'm like, yeah, I want that one. And I like played enough, and like I got my one skin, and I was like, cool, got my one skin. So yeah, I don't know. I like how they do it, but I think
what they need to do is like, it's that kind of thing of if they maybe like separated the loot boxes into their own categories and stuff, then maybe it'd be a little bit more respectful. Like, say for Overwatch, for example, like you have so many characters, and if you're putting in all this cash to hopefully get like a costume for this one specific character, then it's literally like a needle in a haystack half the time. And so if they did it where it was like Mercy loot box or Soldier 76 loot box, then maybe it would be a little bit okay, because at least then you're playing the characters that you like and you're actually trying to gamble. That's the problem. It is gambling in that kind of sense, but at least you're kind of like going for the thing that you're interested in. It is to do with money, because you could in the end just make everybody allow them to just buy what they want. But
you guys good?
Josh, by the way, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at Taylor. A couple of years back he spent $80 on loot boxes to get an Overwatch skin, so it's just like
You're joking me. What were you trying to get?
It was like the Mercy Halloween skin or something back in like 2016 or something. Yeah, when
you mean the one where she's dressed like a witch?
Yes, it was back in like 2016 when that game was good and popular. and yeah, and I played that game. Yeah.
It's okay. We all do things we're not proud of. I bought a Street Fighter 2 music pack for Street Fighter 5.
Oh God, man. Okay.
It didn't make the game that much better. I mean, it did.
But yeah,
the game still was not my favorite.
Yeah, I was a Mercy main at the time, by the way. So yeah.
Hey, I still am. So.
Oh, how have you survived? Like, I don't know. Ever since
I don't play it anymore, but like when I did play it, I've always been Mercy main, so I relate in that aspect.
I stopped playing when they made her not fun to play anymore. That's
right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Anyway. That though, because like you can, there is in-game coins in that game, and you can like say buy a specific skin, but they don't sell that as currency, do they? You have to buy the loot box, and the loot box gives you the coin, or based on the amount that they either give you on luck, or if you get a duplicate. You can't just buy gold coins, can you?
No, you can't.
To buy the skin you want. Yeah, so that's the issue. If they let you buy the gold coin to purchase that skin, then maybe I wouldn't have that much of an issue, because then you are going into the area of DLC, and you don't have to just be shoehorned into loot box.
Yeah.
But when they force it that way, then it's a little bit more annoying.
Well, that's also the thing with like Apex, even though it's absolutely insanely expensive, they've got a very good model where you can just kind of buy crafting metal or buy coins or whatever, or just buy the skin straight out. Like, if EA can do it like that or Respawn at least, EA published it, but if that's kind of their model with games that they publish, why can't they just stick to that? Like,
yeah.
I think the thing is just like
loot boxes really
having like the traditional loot box model prints money. And it's like, if you want to look at that, it's like FIFA accounts for, like the latest FIFA accounts for like 48% of EA's profit every year, which is insane.
And it's DLC. That's all it is. Like every year it's DLC.
Right. I mean, it's fake cards. That's what it really is, right? Like, it's not even like, you can compare it to like actual soccer cards or baseball cards, but like, I guess the difference is we should get a rare card in that case. You're able to sell it for a monetary gain or whatever. Like, it is your card now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do whatever you want with it. You can burn it. You can, frame it. You can sell it. When you get a fake card that's in a game, it's going to be like, it's irrelevant in like the next time a new game comes out.
Yeah.
So like, it's really...
But when the server shut down as well, like once they're gone, you don't even own it through that either.
You're telling me that when Overwatch 2 comes out, my Mercy skin will be useless?
Yes.
Do you think they'll... Oh, this is another...
No, well, actually, that's going to be my topic, actually. My topic is Overwatch 2 about that, so that's actually interesting to talk about. But yeah, no, it is that kind of thing where I think I personally would happily go back to the days of DLC of like Unreal Tournament and stuff, where like you just paid for a expansion and you got like a shit ton of stuff. So I would happily just go with that route.
Man, we don't know how good we had it back when like games would like release and then just do like a season pass. And then that was it. Yeah, it's like, we don't know how good we had it back then. It was just like,
I don't know. I'm still in the camp of their games are better than they've ever been. But like, because like, the season pass thing was ridiculous. Like, you'd have to pay like $40 for a season pass that you don't even know what's coming. Like,
at least you know what you're getting at some point, though. Like, I don't know.
Well, eventually, but you're just pre-ordering. Like, there's season passes. Like, what was it, Final Fantasy 15? Like, there's like one thing that came out with that season pass or something.
Was there?
I think so.
Okay.
Or like one major thing, or I can't remember what game it was, but there's stuff like that always happens, right?
Yeah.
It was like I don't know if you remember Evolve. Like, I really like the Evolve game.
Oh yeah, okay.
They did season 1 and season 2 passes, and it was a thing where you didn't theoretically know what you were getting because they just black silhouetted out all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even know what kind of content they were actually making. So it was like a thing of put trust in us, just buy the season pass and we'll give you a bunch of characters. But yeah, you didn't know what that content was. It could have they didn't even finish that game in the end when they did stage 2. So it was that kind of thing of the season pass, which you can't buy anymore. Like, I have it on console and I still play occasionally because I do really like the game still. But it's that kind of thing of you can't buy those season passes anymore. It's all just gone. Like, that's the thing. You don't own it.
Good lord. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, as I previously mentioned, some people are upset with like World of Warcraft's monetization model, which is the amount of like stores or the amount of things they sell in like the store and everything and whatnot. But the other day I took a look at Final Fantasy's monetization. Or 14's monetization, see how it compares and everything. It's not much better. Like, they still make you pay month to month. They still make you pay for every expansion when it comes out, which is like every 2 some odd years, I think. And then they have in-game store mounts. I found this out. You can pay to skip story.
Oh.
So it's like basically so it's like, as I said, the latest expansion to come out is Shadowbringers, but the only way to like play the content of that latest expansion isn't necessarily if you're at the level to do it, but whether or not you've completed the previous stories from the previous expansions. So it's like, to play Shadowbringers, you would have to have completed the base game, which is A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, and which is all amounts to like 200 hours. Or
I love it.
You can give Square Enix like $17, and they'll let you jump right into Shadowbringers story. So
that's what Destiny did as well with Taken King.
Yeah.
Like you could boost right to Taken King and ignore the entirety of the vanilla storyline.
Okay.
I think they do that in Destiny right now. You can just like get certain gear that bumps you up real fast if you don't want to grind.
Okay.
But yeah, let's think about surprise mechanics. That sounds like one of those like words like we don't say loot boxes around the office, okay, guys? Like what was that? Like we don't. There was like one of those developers that's like, oh, we don't compare our game to Destiny or something. Like we don't use that word in the office. So
Anthem.
Was that what it was?
Anthem. Yeah, I remember Anthem's development was like, we don't talk about Destiny in the office. We call it.
Yeah. It just rings so just like sooty and so like that's the word they decided to come up with, surprise mechanics. Jeez.
What would be a better term for it? Do you think?
Oh boy.
Kinder eggs. Kinder eggs. I don't know.
Gear crates.
Coffin-shaped box. Something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Gear, I think when it comes to like the Congress thing though, is that when they were doing it, the people that are trying to defend it are basically defending it against a bunch of people that don't really understand what it is, and so they're kind of just there bringing up a case and they're trying to figure out what it is at that time by interrogating them. But the people that are doing the interrogating aren't calling them out on what they're actually explaining it as. So it's like that kind of thing of when they're saying that, they're kind of not going, well, no, because we know what it is, and then they're using evidence against them. And it's that kind of thing. It was like with Facebook, with the whole thing with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, where he went in and they ended up interrogating about that, and they were completely clueless as well. They were like, oh, so like, I can just add someone as a friend, like, and it could be anybody, and and they can invite me around to their house and blah blah blah. And it's like, and he had to explain that. And it was kind of the same thing again. It was like the people that were interrogating had no idea. It was like, oh, supposedly it's bad, and we have to call you out on it because we've been told to. And so it's like, if they actually had people on that other end going, no, what it is, it's wrong, and this is the reason why and stuff, but it's never is that, and that's the problem where this is going to end up just taking forever to even sort out, because nobody that's calling them out properly, because it's just journalists, like it's the game media that's saying this is wrong and this is bad, but nobody on that level is actually taking them to court about it, and so that needs to actually happen.
At this point, they almost need consultants, like tech consultants, in a sense, where they can kind of, people can explain all these mechanics in gaming or loot boxes or whatever, because technology is going to become like a major thing regarding being discussed in Congress and whatever, and all these tech laws, particularly with this Google thing. They need, I don't know, it seems like they need some consultancy or something that's explaining this stuff to these people.
I feel
like why did they not bring researchers into it as well? Like, it's that kind of thing. There are people that research gambling and like addictive behavior and stuff, and it's obviously there to take advantage of people like that to make more money, because that's the whole thing of like with the FIFA games and stuff, is that the people who buy those things are addicted to, say, like doing betting and things. It's the exact same kind of thing. So, getting a better player, and then that gives you a higher chance of winning in the future. So if you had those parties all coming together to actually, work it out, then it'd be a little bit more hopeful about the future, but there's just nothing like that.
Yeah, I think one big thing is, like, to me, loot boxes as a concept is kind of hard to describe without comparing it to something else, or without, like, the person you're describing it to having experienced it themselves. Sure. It's like, you can't necessarily compare it to like a trading card pack, because, and I guess this kind of gets into the legal definition of gambling also, is like, gambling is when you're risking something that has intrinsic value. The thing is like, things in a video game don't have intrinsic value, which is why this isn't technically gambling. And so Yeah, and so it's like if you were, it's like how would you go about assigning intrinsic value to
to a skin or whatever.
Yeah.
Can't. Yeah, it's all like, it's all like, oh, I wanted that one, or like, you know, I didn't care about that one, but my friend really wanted. You know, like it's like it's all personal and objective.
Yeah.
There's no man.
So surprise mechanics, like it.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I think they're going to be around for a little bit longer.
Andrew, do you think PUBG 2 will have surprise mechanics?
You know what? No, I don't. I don't think PUBG would, because I don't know. This is not a sequel.
Oh,
So
okay.
This is PUBG in the universe of PlayerUnknown.
Okay.
So you will be playing as PlayerUnknown, and you will. So there's a new PlayerUnknown's Battleground game. I don't know. That's a mouthful, but like I don't know what that means exactly. It's untitled, and it's from a new studio called Striking Distance.
Okay.
Which is going to be led by ex-Call of Duty and Dead Space developer Glenn Schofield.
Ooh. Okay.
So he's got some chops in both the shooting realm, I would say, and the story realm as well. But basically, from what we understand, is this is a game, but quote unquote, an original narrative experience within the PUBG universe.
Jesus. Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
I'll just add, goes on to say this Schofield hints the game might not be a battle royale. He said it was a creative whatever.
Yes,
So
I don't
it may
think
not be battle royale.
Yeah, I don't think this will be a battle royale game. I don't think they would put a game to compete with themselves. Like, right, that doesn't make sense.
That'd be dumb.
That's not a sequel.
Yeah.
Fortnite 2.0.
I mean, Fortnite, yeah, but like, I don't know. This is kind of interesting. Like, if there was a game, like, what game would you want, like in the PUBG universe? Do you think this is like something we can explore, like having like a narrative experience inside of like a told narrative experience inside of a battle royale kind of?
It's just literally the Battle Royale movie as a game.
I was going to say, it's like, you guys ever see that old movie Battle Royale? It's like pretty much that, right? You know, it's just like, instead of, it's like you're going to be following one certain person as he needs to survive or something, I don't know.
But it'd be cool because, like, if you did do that, you could do it on the level of, say, like, Mass Effect or something. Not, like, you know, going into space and stuff, but having the morality system and things, where it is that thing where, like, you screwing over other players and stuff, like, even, like, the Running Man, you know, having that kind of thing where there is that kind of concept of morality with, you know, these are the people are fighting to survive as well. And so you could actually make a great story out of that, depending on how you went about it. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, it could be anything at this moment. It's all hopes and dreams, to be honest, right?
Yeah, I just thought it was neat. I think that, like, there's definitely some space. Like, are they gonna tell us like why there's 100 people jumping out of an airplane to kill each? I don't know. They're gonna. Are we in the future? Like, who knows? I don't know. Like, it's kind of cool to like see if maybe we could get some kind of weird story out of it.
We're gonna eventually have the PUBG cinematic universe.
God, it's such a bad name though. The PUBG universe is terrible.
That's the really cool thing about Apex though, is that they've already built that foundation where it is actually a television show, and like all their like CGI like cutscenes or like trailers, should I say, and stuff is all like, even like the latest one is that thing of like they are fighting to entertain a crowd, and it is all about winning the match. And you know, they have that whole thing of like when you play Apex, you have the whole, is it like the champion squad and stuff like that? Like, they actually advertise that in the trailers as actual, like a narrative. And it's kind of like, again, like if you go to like, say, Unreal Tournament, they did the exact same thing in Unreal Tournament, where it was, the narrative was what Unreal Tournament is. And so it's really cool that kind of like the guys behind Apex kind of figured that out already and are building this story, like doing the whole dragon thing, which starts like this week, supposedly, and things, the giant monsters and stuff. Yeah, so they are actually making a story. And so I guess you could do it with PUBG, but it's like, PUBG in itself is just kind of like, it always felt like stock character models fighting against each other on like a giant green map. So it's got to be really grounded. So again, yeah, like as we were saying, like it would have to be like Battle Royale the movie.
Yeah.
So no, like you'd have to like either that, or you'd have to like really go far out there and exaggerate it to what it already is and things. Because at the moment, like there is a lack of imagination when it comes to PUBG. It's just guns and a bunch of people walking around in their underpants shooting each other. So
what's that? There's a fantastic movie with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's basically that, like they're convicts and they get dropped on the island. I think it's called is it called Convicted? I don't remember.
I don't know.
But Stone Cold Steve Austin is in it. It's a pretty bad movie. But yeah, it's like the same thing. It's like they're just convicts. Like that could be super easy one to be like, oh, they're all people in jail.
Well, there's also that that film called Gamer, where about the kid who controls convicts.
Yeah.
And you could do it like that, where it is actual gamers controlling convicts, and then they're all kind of, it's that whole futuristic kind of idea as well, where they do it. You could totally do that. See,
Like
look, we
that.
should just make our own goddamn narrative video game about it.
Pigeon Simulator.
It's called Pigeon
was that
Simulator. It's
Panic
pending
quickly.
Yeah.
Copyright that stuff.
100
We've got all the
pigeons
ideas.
are put in a
Narrative
cage.
pigeons. Pigeon Battle Royale.
the heck?
There you go.
Pigeons in a cage
Okay.
I think the thing with this though is
with
that
knives capped to
Anthony.
their feet.
Anthony.
we've got to kind of like, if this isn't going to be around based on Battle Royale or whatever, how are they going to actually do this? Like they're hinting that it's not going to be kind of Battle Royale. Obviously, we don't really know. I mean, with Apex and whatever, it's based around Battle Royale. They're kind of putting the story
Mhm.
around Battle Royale. So to me, like they've got to kind of do like maybe something before all these people got captured, in a sense, maybe like an Uncharted kind of thing, and then all these people kind of get captured, and it's like playing as multiple people,
Sure.
and all these people kind of end up in a ring, and then that's how that, like a prequel or even a sequel to All Winners, maybe like a what's it called, Hunger Games kind of thing, like the
Yeah.
after they win. If it's not going to be relating to Battle Royale, that's all it really can be, like a prequel to either how these people got in there or a sequel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, at least.
Oh, so like we're on top of the whole reality show skew and everything. We spent at E3. We spent like an hour and a half with Tripwire, and one of the games they showed us was called Maneater. And it's like it's basically like you play as a shark. You play as a shark, and you're just kind of like going around like swimming, killing stuff, bashing stuff, etc., and like these various pools of lake. But the whole thing is like framed as if it's a reality show following this one shark. And they got Chris Parnell, who, if you watch Archer, he's Cyril,
Oh, okay.
to like voice it over, and it's pretty funny. So
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway, it's about reality show and whatnot. Maybe I could end up like, I don't know. Have you guys ever played This War of Mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
A little.
Okay, where it's like, oh, you didn't be on this, like, you didn't be on Arundel or something like that, and it's just like, you come across people and it's like, you choose to help them, hurt them, or whatever, try to survive through it.
What if it's even weirder and it's like, okay, you're gonna play like the god who like closes in the circle or like puts a gun here and you just like watch the people fight each other.
Oh,
Game
man.
Maker, a Hunger Games kind of thing.
Yeah, like a Hunger Games thing. You're just like manipulating it. Like that'd be pretty funny. Like just like really
Controlling
weird
the
thing.
person who has the detonator to all the necks. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's some cool stuff. Hopefully they fix. We'd have no idea what like they're capable of because like they've only done the PUBG stuff.
Mhm.
But hopefully they get a new engine. They go on a different engine. They do some stuff there.
They need quite a few things going for them.
That game is I feel like still pretty rough. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
Are they like a giant company now as well? And what are they doing? Like it's.
well, they do the mobile, which just rakes in money apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like in like Europe, I want to say, and like in China.
It's
maybe?
massive
just
in
like-
South Korea.
Yeah.
It's massive in
yeah,
South
just-
Korea.
It's just huge over there.
But it's like, are they just like pumping out like ports and then just sitting on them and like not doing anything with it?
Well-
Because like if you look at like say Apex and Fortnite, like they improve themselves constantly, but you don't really hear about that with PUBG. Like it kind of just sits in as its own little kind of thing of stuck in its own little
With the way
I don't know state.
With the way like PUBG is mechanically set up, it's like definitely the most realistic sort of battle royale and everything, like sort of military
that's
sim
true.
like. So there is definitely a hard limit to how creative you can be with the mechanics. And so a lot of the improvements from PUBG either come from the occasional like new weapon or like piece of equipment or something, which is, again still kind of based on a real life weapon and everything.
Sure.
But then also maps are a big thing and everything, and so whenever it's a new map.
They did a snow map relatively recently, I think,
Yeah, but Kennedy.
this year.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was
Like,
like
even if
late
you
last
compare
year.
it to a game like, if you compare it to a game like say Warframe, like that game, the
Oh,
developers
yeah.
for that like pumping out content like constantly, and,
Yeah.
and those even the maps that they do, they're doing like massive open world maps now and stuff too. But it feels like the developers are they called Blue something?
Bluehole.
I can't remember.
It
what
was Bluehole. I don't know if it still is.
I think it's now PUBG Corp.
PUBG Corp, right?
PUBG
Okay.
Corp, that was it, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they just seem to kind of you just don't hear about what's going on inside that company or what's coming out of it. Like the guy who actually like made, isn't he like moved on now?
Brandon.
I think so. Brandon Green, I
Yeah.
believe, or something like that.
Yeah, so
No,
it's like
he's still with PUBG Corp. He's just not working on PUBG anymore.
Okay.
right,
Oh, okay.
just sitting in his Scrooge McDuck vault of money.
Pretty much, yeah. He's going back to
Yeah.
Arma 4 modding, or Arma 3 modding rather.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably also why they can't really do much, because it was based off Arma, right? So like they can't mess
They'd
too
have to
much
make
with...
their own goddamn game.
Or just
That's
use
the
Unreal.
thing. Yeah, they'd have to build it on. Yep.
They just need a new engine.
Yeah.
Like once they get a new engine, because it's using the Arma engine as well. They need to kind of rework the framework in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
I think
that's
that's
one of the
very
big things for Arma 4 is just like Bohemia is redoing the engine like completely in Arma 4, so it's pretty exciting.
Cool.
I know Contact came out for Arma 3 the other day. It's like aliens, so that's cool.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, tangent. Josh, Overwatch 2. Speaking of sequels nobody wants, go for it.
Yeah, I was actually just writing an article about this.
Okay.
And it was kind of like because it got announced that they were actually working on Overwatch 2, but it was this thing of, do we really need it? Because a lot of these games these days are now like hub games. So you have like, say, Destiny and Division, where it's this thing where they start off as these kind of like service games where everybody can come together, play content together or separately. But then like, say with like Overwatch, which in itself is kind of, it is a hub game because you are just playing multiplayer, but everyone comes together to play it as a game.
Yeah.
But what can you add on top of it? Like, you already have the first game kind of like doing the co-op kind of events and stuff, which felt more of like a concept when they were doing it. Like, they seemed to not like really go like balls deep with like their kind of like co-op events and things. And I don't know, it's just kind of weird because like they added like a few characters, and what would you do with an Overwatch 2 apart from adding a narrative campaign to it? I think everybody was begging them to basically add story because they have all these great characters with all these amazing, backgrounds for like the comics and, the little cutscenes and intro things that they've done for it. But it's like, do you really need Overwatch 2 to replace Overwatch? Do you really need it so then all of that content you've been playing, all of those skins that you work so hard to unlock, especially with like loot boxes, as we were saying, just become replaced and nobody going on the service for you to use them and stuff? Like, it's just a massive shame in itself. Like, is it needed? Do hub games need to be replaced with sequels like, say, we just had a Division 2, or should they be more expanded upon, like, say, Final Fantasy XIV, where you have expansions adding onto the game world, So instead of just going to Washington in one game and then being in, New York in the other Division, like, can't you put them both together and make the Division, or Overwatch just be the brand Overwatch, and then add more game content to it, as re-releases and stuff like that? So it's just kind of interesting to me that, they don't seem to ever want to go down that path.
Thanks for the follow, Scurvy. But also, I have heard always that, like, if they were to ever do, like, an Overwatch 2, so to speak, or, like, another game set in the Overwatch universe, it would just be, like, a narrative sort of thing, and they would keep, like, Overwatch 1 as a multiplayer
Right.
sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what.
But then wouldn't you just go down the path of, like, say, Destiny's Taken King and things then, where you would expand upon it? Why does it have to be, like, I'm hoping that they don't call it Overwatch 2. I hope that they just stay, you have Overwatch, you can put your disc in, but you buy Overwatch narrative content, and you put it into your Overwatch game. Keep Overwatch kind of like within its own realm, and don't make it so you have to own 2 discs. Like, that just seems annoying and stupid.
I see what you mean. Like
why
not just do like DLC for Overwatch or something?
I assume you want to keep your witch skin, after all. So it's that kind of thing where.
I think
Which I do. I do.
I think
You don't want to be going. You don't want to pump another $80 into another bunch of loot boxes just to get your witch skin again.
No, not a good time.
I think what they might do is kind of like what Call of Duty's, I think, planning on doing with whatever it's called, Modern Warfare. As far as with the whole Battle Royale thing, they got Blackout and Black Ops 4, which is their Battle Royale kind of title and multiplayer title, and they're going more single player oriented with Modern Warfare. I think Overwatch is going to do something similar to that, I reckon, where they might have a standalone multiplayer game like what they've already got, although I believe Overwatch needs to die. I think they also need to do like I don't think they need to do like a single player kind of title only. I think DLC would work, but it kind of does make sense if they do kind of two titles in a sense, like where they got a multiplayer only and a single player only. Yeah. I don't know. I just think like Watch has been around for too long.
It's hard to remember. This game is barely 3 years old.
Really? I thought it was 2014. No.
2016.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was announced in 2014.
Maybe. It was if you want to get all technical about it, it was originally announced in 2012 as Project Titan, and then which was supposed to be a sequel to WoW, but then or like not a sequel, but like an MMO like WoW. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Watch MMO.
I'm kind of on the board of this game is lost so much like of its player base, it seems like, that they kind of have to make a sequel. Like they can't do the like reinvent themselves because it's just too late. It's too late to reinvent. I think, I don't know, like you look like at games like like Rainbow Six and stuff like that, who had a little bit of a rocky launch, but if somehow like kind of doubled down on what they were doing and just made things better.
Right.
And it's just grown. But like I don't know, Overwatch, I feel like if they're like, hey, this is Overwatch 2.0, and they like just change things, I don't know if that would be enough. But I don't know, I don't play Overwatch, so it's hard for me to like
I think as long as you don't have that loss of content, as we were saying, like if you made it so then you could bring across all the stuff that you've earned and you kept all the characters and even the maps and stuff, like just made it more, even you could look at say like Crash Bandicoot Team Racing, which is, a remake of 2 other games. Obviously you're not remaking Overwatch, you're just moving over to a new engine and stuff, but I'm sure it's quite viable to make it so you can keep all of the costumes and the characters that you earn and things too. Just make it so then people feel connected to what they've already put all those hours and dedication into, putting into a person's original game. If it is just going to be a narrative thing, then that sounds great. But I think it's just that thing of you've got fans that are so dedicated to your game, and if you're going to make it with every Call of Duty, like you've got to get to level 50 Commander or whatever and unlock the same goddamn Uzi and, triple shotgun or whatever. It's don't make them do... Yeah, just don't make them do that every single time. Like, make it so then the save recognizes that you've earned those things previously and can carry it over, and then you can use newer guns and stuff and have something else to work towards.
I think a big thing also is just like, even if they were to... So it's like, in the case of Rainbow Six and everything, it was just like, they never marketed it like this one huge, massive wave of change. It's like, oh, this is Rainbow Six 2.0 or whatever and everything. It was just like, it progressively got better and better and better and everything, even though it's like Ubisoft, I don't want to say fundamentally, but like significantly redesigned portions of the game and everything to work better, both on a technical level and from like a gameplay level. And it's just like Blizzard doesn't really have a history of doing that, that's the thing. It's just like Blizzard balance definitely kills games in the long term. And I mean, to be quite honest, it's like Overwatch as a failure of an esport. It's like it's an absolute failure of an esport. Blizzard dumped way too much money into that scene themselves to try and keep it afloat and try and get it to take off, but it never did. So, yeah, that's the...
I think also the issue is now they're really trying to bleed it as well. Like last year with all the whole events and like seasons and all that kind of stuff, not a worst year they've ever had. And then they're saying, oh yeah, we're going to do that and blah, blah, blah this year. It seems like people don't really care about it anymore, as far as in a sense they're better off completely scrapping it and starting it fresh and doing something new. At least then it'll rebuild hype and get people keen for it, even if it is a single player thing, and then kind of redo the whole multiplayer aspect as well. I think they're better off starting it fresh rather than trying to keep Overwatch alive in a sense.
Yeah.
I think that it benefits a lot as well if they did go for that single player route, because the characters themselves feel like they should be in like more of a narrative thing anyway, because they are all really good. Like I've loved all the designs of all the characters and their personalities and how they've built them up for interacting with each other, especially in those co-op events where they had like recorded lines between all the characters as you played it. Yeah. So if they kind of, it's that thing where it's Disney, in a sense. They have their own like little Marvel universe in a sense when it comes to Overwatch. They just need to take advantage of it. People keep saying, why don't they just scrap the games and make movies? Like these cinematic trailers that they keep making for all the characters look awesome. And it's like, why is Blizzard not just using the engine that they've got to make movies of these characters?
Blizzard has a very, very busy CG department. Let me tell you that right
Yeah.
now. It's like you see some of these like high-end World of Warcraft cinematics that come out like every 2 years or so with the new expansion, and it's just like it takes them a year and a half of work to make that happen, sort of thing.
Yeah,
So,
shove them in the dark for like 3 years and make a goddamn CGI movie.
If we were to do a CGI movie, we'd be waiting like 10 to 20 years on that one, you know? Yeah.
But it's that kind of thing of potential. Yeah, I think that there's a lot that they could move, grow from what Overwatch initially was. It was like, if you think of what Overwatch is, it is lacking in any form of content. It's a bunch of characters running around a map shooting each other without any context. Why are you in an Arabian market shooting at each other? I don't know. It has no narrative for that, but it's like, beyond that, you've got a world that you've built, you've got these characters, make something of it. And I hope that's what they do, and they don't just recycle and go, oh, we've made another multiplayer game, and just more characters and stuff.
And I think, I think those were all the remnants of when Overwatch was originally concepted as an MMO. That's the thing. When it was originally Project Titan and everything. Those are all the leftover scraps from that,
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else to say about Overwatch 2? Or sequel?
Screw you, Overwatch.
Okay.
I don't trust Activision, to be honest, at this point.
Okay. Josh, you said you're working on an article that goes into this a little bit further?
Yeah, so it's just more of that discussion of my kind of point of view on it and stuff, so hopefully you can look forward to that tomorrow.
Okay.
Someone publishes it.
Awesome. All right. Anthony, Final Fantasy XIV gets a TV show. It's not anime, though.
Apparently.
Okay.
So, regarding this, basically, this is going to be based on Final Fantasy XIV, and I literally read it and now I can't find it.
Excellent.
Is it live action? Did they say it was live action?
Yes. So the epic storytelling of the Final Fantasy series of games will soon transition into TV. Sony Pictures Television and Hive Mind Productions revealed they are partnering with Square Enix to develop a live-action adaptation of Final Fantasy XIV, which is 14. The TV series will be set in Eorzea. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Eorzea.
Anime world.
Something like that. The same setting as the 14th main installment of the video game series. The show will feature many elements that players are long familiar with, including chocobos and the live-action debut of Sid.
Okay.
Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO, blah, blah, blah. Final Fantasy XIV Arosa are the perfect gateway into Final Fantasy for long-time fans and newcomers alike, said Sony Pictures Chris Parnell. This show is about embracing and embodying all of the elements that made the mythos such an endless, captivating phenomenon. And it's an immense honor to be bringing all of Arosa's iconic
anime world
concepts, including fan favorites like Sid, and of course the chocobos to life.
I feel like the big marketing point is real life chocobos here. I feel like that's the big...
They're really getting excited about those yellow birds, aren't they?
Painted some chickens yellow, yeah.
Just imagine like how bad that would look.
Basically, what they'll do is they'll get like cameras and they'll just zoom in on like baby chicks. They'll be like, "Look, it's a chocobo." They'll be like,
just running around. Oh man, okay.
With the music going.
Wow. I like the game, but I don't have high hopes for this one. That's all I'll say.
Ben Lustig and Jake Thornton wrap the series and serves as executive producers alongside Jason F. Brown, Sean Daniel, and Dinesh, some last name which I'm not going to pronounce, of Hive Mind. This isn't the only piece of TV content being produced by Hive Mind at the moment. This is going to be on Amazon, I believe.
Okay.
I think production company is also working. Oh no, so then they go on about The Witcher, which is going to Netflix. So they don't know when this is coming or where it's going to debut.
Okay.
But it's happening. Who's keen for it? Not me.
I don't have high hopes for this one. Just like I don't have high hopes for The Witcher coming out. Is that supposed to be later
I don't
this
know.
year,
I don't know if like anybody else like envisions it, but like whenever someone says like for like a live action fantasy game like Final Fantasy for instance, I just picture like Full Metal Alchemist live action kind of thing, where it's that kind of where they like the Japanese kind of like actors like really trying to be like I don't know, blonde-haired anime character, so you got like Cloud and everything like that, but like those types of characters, but then that really weird like direct-to-TV CGI with like live action, which just doesn't kind of like cross.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's gonna be like. Yeah, and it's going to Amazon as well, just like how they did make like Full Metal Alchemist and Bleach, like live action TV show movies and stuff. Like, is it going to be like, if it's going to Amazon, is that what it's going to be?
Okay, I forgot about the Bleach one.
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh yeah, what's Titan one I keep?
What's what?
Attack on Titan?
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Exactly, no, exactly like that, where they did like live action, but then it was it was like the full costume people and stuff. So you'd have to like have what they called summons, what they call in Final Fantasy 14. What's the name for them in that? Is it summons, Guardian Force, or they all have different names in each?
I couldn't tell you. What are we referring to?
Don't you play it?
Yes. I'm only like level 20 or so.
Come on, genius.
Barely played it.
But so like you would have like the like Bahamut and Shiva and stuff, and they're all just like people with costumes, like in the Attack on Titan live action.
Okay.
So yeah,
think,
so it'd be like that.
Final Fantasy 14 refers to them as elementals or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Elementals.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like if they were to do something like that, make an anime, do it the Castlevania route. That seems to do pretty well for itself, because it's that thing of, if you imagine what Final Fantasy is, it's so big budget anyway. Like, is it really going to get pulled off that well as a TV show? Like, just animate it. Don't put real people on the screen. And especially since you got these, most of the characters in that are like women in like really short skirts and giant witch hats and stuff. Like, you just can't take it seriously anyway. Can you imagine like actors like trying to be really serious while like wearing those, like with the women with the giant bunny ears and high heel shoes? Like, no. Can't take that seriously whatsoever. Make it a cartoon.
It's like wow. Chocobos though, guys. Chocobos. Come on.
Sure.
Yeah, chocobos.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
No one excited?
Huh?
No one's excited? No?
I feel like I really want to. I just want to see how they do it. That's the thing. Like, not necessarily Cypher. I just want to see how it all ends up. Kind of like how I want to see how The Witcher ends up on Netflix or whatever. I just want to see how that went.
I like what Henry Cavill looks like with his hair and stuff. It looks like he's wearing a wig.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Supposedly the armor for the what were the bad guy nation called in The Witcher? Ones that wear like the big chunky armor and stuff. Does anybody know what they were called?
I don't remember.
They supposedly like some of the armor was like leaked, like some photos on set, and it looks like really, really bad.
Okay.
As well.
Thanks.
So I'm not. I love The Witcher 3. Like, I thought it was great, but like I do not have high hopes for that TV show.
I can't believe they brought it to Switch.
Oh God.
Does it look good?
No.
I don't
It
know.
looks real bad.
540p, no anti-aliasing. Whoever greenlit that project was a moron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like PS1 Final Fantasy 7? But
Yes.
Witcher?
Yes, but worse.
They've all got like pointy shoulders and
Yeah.
like little blocky hands.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
hair doesn't, it's not as flowy as it used to be.
Yeah. The beard is just like white paint on Geralt's face.
Literally, it actually looks like that too.
Yeah.
The ponytail's just this thick like diamond cubey looking thing, just like flowing in his hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God.
I would not buy a Switch for The Witcher of all things. I was talking to someone actually saying that why would you play that on the train as well? Like the missions in those games, like a side mission of itself is like an hour long. Like why would you play a side mission of The Witcher on the go?
That gives you more. I feel like that gives you more reason to. I'm like, I'll knock out 15 minutes pretty quick of this mission.
You think?
I'll knock out the other 15 or the other half an hour here, And some people have long commutes. Like some people have like hour commutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea.
It's not a bad idea. I just don't know if it's gonna work very well.
You go on your 30-minute
Already
lunch
out,
and
isn't
you're riding across the land and you literally get halfway there and you have to get off your lunch and you're like, oh, God damn it, you have to save it and then get back to riding your horse again to that little notice board so you can fast travel somewhere else.
Whoa. Oh man, can you imagine just like, some little kid sees you playing like on your Switch, they want to see what game you're playing. It's like, oh, sex scene with Triss, like now.
Yes.
On the train.
Just banging some prostitute.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
it's not any worse than ripping someone's head off in Mortal Kombat.
No, it's not. It's not. But I don't know. Is Mortal Kombat something you play on the train?
I mean, I wouldn't want to play that on Switch anyway, but
Yeah,
I'm just saying
exactly.
it's awesome. I was playing the Metal Slug on like the plane, and there was like a kid not too far. I'm like, oh, and I'm just sitting there murdering people in Metal Slug, and I was like, I should change the game.
Oh no, Metal Slug is amazing. That was born for that kind of stuff. See, that is a Paul game.
No, it's a fantastic game. That's not the point. But when like kids are like seeing you play your Switch like next to you, like, oh, what are you playing? And I'm just mowing people down. And I'm like, oh,
You have to face reality.
I'm just going to work.
You're there like shooting the giant plane boss with a little pistol while you're on a plane. They're just there like going like that.
Exactly.
Freaking out.
I know.
It's like the classic adage, just like you're playing Counter-Strike at an airport or something, and the speakers are on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you're
wow.
doing the Call of Duty airport scene, or?
Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's probably the worst one.
While sat in an airport.
Any gunshot game like where you accidentally put it out loud is not going to go well.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of things that shouldn't exist, nobody wants Google Stadia or xCloud, which is Microsoft's like streaming service, allegedly. In a survey conducted, gamers in Europe, 15% are interested in Google Stadia or xCloud game streaming services. Mostly because they fear a lesser experience.
That's an interesting.
They haven't shown anything. That's the
in
problem.
terms of
They
things
actually
like
have to
latency and graphical fidelity and whatnot, stuff like that. So yeah, that's good. Although I still think 15% is way too high.
Well, they got out recently and were like, yeah, games are going to be more expensive technically on these like services.
Yes.
Right? Because you're paying for the service
Mhm.
and you're buying the game. Well, at least on Stadia. I have no idea about Xbox. They're pretty good about like buying the game once and you playing it anywhere.
Yeah.
So Xbox seems like the likely winner of this situation. If I had to pick one, xCloud, right?
xCloud, yeah, xCloud.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see xCloud being an actual streaming service, to be honest. I see it's something paired with existing Xbox consoles. Like a new cloud save technology. That's all I see it being, because they haven't given any information about it. What they gave at E3 implied that it was just going to be like cloud save stuff, and that was it.
Oh, we're getting more details in October over xCloud, but then it's like I also feel like xCloud is going to be like a game streaming thing, not in the sense that Stevia is, but rather like what's the whole like the whole PS4 to PS Vita thing that they did for a bit?
Yeah.
PS Now, isn't it?
Yeah, PS Now or something.
No, PS Now is the streaming service. I'm talking about like remote play.
Okay,
Yeah,
remote play. Okay. Yeah.
If I don't have phones, whatever.
I did feel it might go something closer to that as opposed to.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Or if it was a thing like, I think we discussed it last podcast, where it was the whole thing when they tried to do Titanfall, where it was kind of like the game is already on the server, so like it would improve loading times and it would add in extra details and stuff like that, so it kind of enhances the experience in a sense. So it could be that kind of thing where it's like you have your game, but if you're connected to the servers or whatever xCloud is, then it could actually like enhance what the game is that you're playing, because it's like already on the server and it's already like streaming extra bits.
Okay.
So like
I don't know.
if you've got like an Xbox One S, then you can kind of connect to xCloud and then upgrade it to Xbox One
Exactly.
X, kind
Yeah,
of.
just like that.
Okay.
So it's like
That could work.
offload some of the rendering onto the server,
server.
like an xCloud server. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Also, mind you, we haven't heard anything from Amazon either. They're supposed to be working on something.
They canceled
although they're
theirs.
Laid off.
They canceled
Did
that.
I mean, they've been saying that for years, right? So.
Yeah, they've canceled that whole thing though. Amazon has.
Oh, really? They
Yeah,
have?
they
Okay.
canceled it.
I
They
knew they
fired, like,
laid
a ton of
heaps
people.
off. Yeah.
They fired like the 500-person team behind it. It's like later.
Oh, great.
Jeez, that's not cool.
I mean, I don't know. I see Amazon kind of being more successful than Google because of if Amazon can't do it, then I don't really see Google doing it just because of what projects Google's been involved in and what's been cancelled and what's died. I don't know. And Intel tried it and they were like, nah, no thanks, we're out. I don't see this working at all.
I definitely feel like the only people outside of maybe Nvidia that could have gotten this right would have been AMD. Would be AMD also, but like we don't see AMD wanting to try this either. So, yeah. I don't know. It's just like I have expressed my opinion quite a bit over Google Stadia and everything. You know, it's just like nothing will beat having a PC hooked up to a low latency monitor and gaming and everything, and then next tier below that will be it's like having a console hooked up to a nice monitor or a nice TV or something.
Yeah.
And then it's just like nothing will be having a nice phone to play a game on, and then nothing will be
In a sense as well, like a console over long term is probably a better investment than actual Google Stadia, because you're going to be paying more for games anyway, if you're paying like $20 a month for the service or whatever it is. Plus $60 on top of that for a game, you might as well just go out and buy a console.
I would say so. So what's like the average console lifespan here? Like,
well, roughly six years or so.
Let's call it
been the last
6 years. Okay.
last couple ones have been about 6 or 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd say about that. Maybe 8.
Okay.
Maybe I think last gen went a little long for because that's how it was
PlayStation
going.
3 and PlayStation 2 were getting games even after like they were pretty much dead in the water. Like Japanese games were still getting pumped out for them, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's say 6 years maybe or 7 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like you put it in like 6 years, you know, that's like 72 months. So like 72 months, you'd say that like a price of a console is $500 and everything. If you buy that console, like when it comes out, you get the full life cycle out of it, or it's out to like $694 a month, you know, $695 a month. So technically cheaper than what Stadia is, you know. Plus,
Yeah, but I don't think that's I don't think people are worried about price, right?
No,
like,
I don't think so.
That's not why people are doing this. This is more of like a weird like, hey, I can play this anywhere kind of deal. I don't have to lug this console around. I can play it in my kitchen. I can play it in the hotel room or whatever, right?
Yeah, but if I have like 40 megabytes a second internet, you know.
Well, I think that they only said 25 was what would get you like 1080p.
Yeah,
right?
but yeah,
it wasn't that out of the realm of like possible. Like what they like told people was not insane. It was like that's pretty reasonable internet to have.
Right. The thing is though, is just like that when they brought that statistic out, that raised a lot of questions because that conflicts with what YouTube says is needed for like video stream and everything.
Oh,
also.
Sure.
So it was just you know, YouTube is also a Google company. So either Google has completely reinvented like compression algorithms and everything to do this sort of thing, or
I think Matt's argument here holds true. A couple of weeks back, he said about the whole 4K downscaling to 1080p.
Oh,
like it might leave the server at 4K, and then when it gets to you, it's 1080p kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So because of like packet loss and whatever, it's just I don't know. It's interesting and need more details on it really. Like when this first was announced, I was like, oh gee, this looks amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. This whole streaming thing looks great. But now it's just nah.
I've hated it since the start.
Oh, good luck to that.
Okay, Josh, what do you think on Stadia and whatnot?
I honestly don't have that much of an opinion on it. When it comes to streaming and things, I don't stream much in of itself anyway. I'm still a disc guy. Like, you don't even see my shelf here. This is just my PS4 games. Like, I have another, like, 2 shelves full of stuff, and so I'm still a tried and true physical copy kind of dude. So, it's one of those things where when you sing about, like, 25, you know, megabyte download and things just to, like, pull it off, the world isn't that, you say, adapted to the internet still. Like, not everyone can still get the internet at those speeds and things, and so you're only going to be catering to a very small audience. And so it's not like how they were saying with like Xbox, where it was like, oh, we want to make sure that the entire world or the majority of it can have an Xbox and play it and, you know, go onto Xbox Live and things. But to have the whole thing of streaming a game, you know, and it, even to itself is like ridiculous. You know, the world can't do those kind of things yet still. Again, it's like the first world country kind of thing. So, and even to that point, hardly anyone in the first world country can have 25 megabyte downloads half the time.
I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know, I kind of... The internet.
Also,
I don't want to say internet speed itself is kind of a moot point in this. I think to me it's just like, okay, the speed is reasonable to what a lot of people have now. It's more of just consistency and quality of the connection that I think is the bigger factor.
like it's like even here, like we get 46 megabytes a second without, like, that's relatively decent for NBN, but on Wi-Fi, like, that drops, that's with Ethernet, mind you, on Wi-Fi that drops down to 25, and then it alternates and jumps to 15, and then, like, comes back up. You can't stream on something like that, no way. Not on Wi-Fi. Like, even if you're, like, Twitch streaming on Wi-Fi with a PC, it doesn't work, because your internet is just not good enough.
Yeah.
So, this whole thing isn't going to work here. I think technology point for it, to be honest. Very similar to, like, with VR. Technology is not at a point for everybody to kind of jump in with VR, and tech's just not there.
Okay.
It's like even with, say, like new consoles doing this whole thing of, oh, we can do 8K. Nobody's even there yet. It's like, why people haven't even grasped 4K yet? Yeah, why are you rushing so much? So it's that kind of thing of, you know, it's great of a concept, but you need everything else to catch up before you can actually use it.
Right.
So maybe if they actually worked with the people who, you know, do goddamn internet, then maybe it would be a bit better than just a pipe dream. But, you know, why try and beat the cart, you know? So,
Right. Okay.
Ideally, you'd see something like this being done by an internet provider or an internet supplier.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, like, I don't know.
Like,
Telstra?
why
God.
Telstra? Do you guys have Telstra over there?
Huh?
Do
No.
you guys have...
No, we don't have Telstra.
Can't,
I've only
don't
heard
go-
memes about Telstra from Australians.
Telstra's bad.
Yeah.
We're moving from Telstra very soon. But anyway, I mean, this is more an internet provider kind of thing. Like, if Google was doing their own internet, which, mind you, they were trying to do and it failed very heavily.
Just like every other Google project in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Okay.
not optimistic.
Andrew, any closing thoughts about this?
I don't know, man. Stadia, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I'm excited to see. Not excited to see. I'm just now curious about it. It's probably not going to go well.
Popping the popcorn as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Microwave that.
All right. So, Anthony, what games are releasing this next week here?
Not much. It's a pretty slow week. If I can open Word, there we go. We've only got about 6 or 7 games coming out. So on July the 2nd, we've got Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered.
Ooh, okay.
Bear in mind, remastered. Is
Get it,
words.
Mars, because the game takes place on Mars, and your
True.
guy's
Wait,
name
they're
is
doing
like
that again?
Mars.
For Switch.
Oh, for Switch.
okay.
Got it, okay.
Everything. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers is coming to PC and PS4 on July 2nd as well. Stranger Things 3. I thought this got cancelled.
I can't wait for that. I'm so excited.
This is like this 8-bit
Stranger
one.
Oh, wait,
not-
were they doing a VR one? Wasn't there a VR experience?
I think so.
Maybe. This is the 8-bit, like, I don't know if it's an RPG or whatever, but it's
Okay.
not the Telltale one or anything.
Okay.
So Stranger Things 3, the game for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on July the 4th. Wonder Blade is going to PC, Android, and iOS on July 4th. We'll have phones right. What Remains of Edith Finch is going to Switch, also on July the 4th. They Are Billions is going to Xbox One and PS4 on July 5th, I believe, for Xbox One, and July 9th for PS4. Sea of Solitude is going to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on July 5th as well. And Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle is going to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on July 5th. That's it for the week.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting.
Not much.
Yeah. Kind of a slow summer so far. Give it that.
Blimey.
After E3, everything's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
A lot of expansions, though. You're getting a lot of expansions coming out.
Yeah.
So there's that, I guess. You got your Apex Legends,
It's
whatever
true.
you call it, number 2.
Season 2.
Season 2's coming out. I'll be checking that out for sure on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Who's the new, what are they called? Legend?
Watson.
Watson.
Yeah.
Watson,
Yeah.
that's right,
Yeah. So.
Is that the astronaut woman who can like
Yeah.
EMP stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a defensive character, I think.
Yeah, that's. I'm interested in seeing how she'll play out. I'll give her that. Okay. Andrew, where can the good people find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Duronsky. That's Dronski. don't know if it cut out again, but
Works
it's
that
fine.
time.
Yeah,
Fine.
I've learned I can't yell, otherwise it decides to cut out on me. But yeah, go over there, check it out. Instagram, Twitter. Got some cool nature pics over on my Instagram from the time I was in wherever I was. Yeah, check those out. It's a fun time.
Okay. Anthony?
I'm not really on anywhere anymore. I'm on Twitter though, same Antman19. You can go follow me if you so choose. I mainly do social media stuff and whatnot.
All right. And then Josh, you said screw it and deleted everything, right?
Well, even though I don't go on today, I have started using my YouTube channel again.
Okay.
So if you want to see, like, say, just the random gameplay footage, video reviews, opinion videos, you can check out Proxy Payload, or I think it was originally called Proxy Playthroughs. So check
Okay.
that out. I do usual content sometimes on that.
Man, we need to make you guys sign a non-compete. No, I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking. That would piss a lot of people off. We won't do that. All right, you can find
Don't
me.
work for anybody else for the
You
next
can
2
find
years.
me on Twitter at InfuriousElecon. That is at INFERIUSELLECON. All sorts of things you can find on there. Okay. So, yeah. Once again, thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys next time, same place. Hopefully with some more gaming news that's interesting. And yeah. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.